Welcome to the Lincoln City Council meeting of August 8th, 2016. In just a moment, we'll all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a period of silent meditation, and I would invite you to consider extending your thoughts and prayers to the Beitler family in the time of tragic loss.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In accordance with LB 898, a copy of the Open Meetings Act is posted in the back of the chambers. The order of business of the City Council is as follows. The clerk will call the items listed on the agenda under public hearing, and anyone wishing to speak on an item should come forward after the clerk reads that item. The applicant and those in favor should speak first, then those opposed. The applicant may then make one short rebuttal. Each speaker should begin by stating name, address, and whether you are speaking in favor of or in opposition to a particular item. Testimony is limited to 5 minutes per speaker, and as a reminder, the timer will sound after 4 minutes. After all public hearings, the council will vote on resolutions and items listed under third reading. And on the second and last meetings of the month, immediately prior to adjournment, typically anyone may speak on any issue not on the agenda for that date nor plan for a future agenda. Soni, would you please explain to our viewers and the folks here today how we are diverting from that normal process this evening?
Due to the public hearing for the city's budget, an open mic will actually be held on August 15th and 29th as stated on the agenda.
Okay, thank you. And now would you please call the first item of business?
Wait a minute.
Excuse me.
I think we need a motion now to reconsider ordinance 20359, and I'll make that motion.
Okay, moved by Roy, seconded by Trent. Is there staff that would like to come up and explain why we have this on our agenda?
Jeff Kirkpatrick, City Attorney. This is a vacation that was before the council last week and was approved by this council. After it was approved by the council, staff noticed that we did not reserve the utility easement that we typically do when we vacate a street or alley or a portion thereof. Therefore, we're asking this council to vote to reconsider so that it could come back up on your agenda next week for a amendment that would allow the vacation of that, or the preservation of that easement for the city following the vacation.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion? Okay. Go ahead, please, and call the roll.
Lamb?
Yes.
Raybold?
Yes.
Ham? Camp?
This is on a vote to reconsider the street and alley vacation so that we can have a vote on it next week.
Oh, yes.
Christensen?
Yes.
Eskridge?
Yes.
Fellers?
Yes.
Gaylor Baird?
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0.
Okay. You please take us through the consent agenda, Soni?
I do have a item that I need to read regarding the public hearing on the city budget. Just as a reminder to the public, the city council will begin its regular meeting at 2:30 p.m. and the public hearing on the 2016-18 city budget will begin immediately after that. The council will take a break at 6 p.m. and will reconvene at 6:30. If you wish to speak, you must sign in. If you do not wish to speak, you do not have to sign in. You can only sign in for yourself, and please indicate if you are using StarTran for transportation. Speakers will generally be called in the order in which they are signed in. Those using public transportation may be called before you. To allow everyone an opportunity to speak, you will have a maximum of 5 minutes to make your comments. Questions from city council members do not count as part of the 5 minutes. You may speak only once. Please try to avoid repeating points made by other speakers. Please consider having a spokesperson for your group. Your group could stand to be recognized. If you sign in but change your mind, you may take your name off the list. Supporting letters and documents can be given to the clerk. And if you have a cell phone, please use the silent mode and make any calls in the hall. Thank you. Item 1 Under consent agenda is the mayor's veto message on ordinance number 20363, amending chapter 8.32 of the Lincoln Municipal Code to increase recycling in Lincoln by requiring waste haulers to offer curbside recycling service to customers, diverting corrugated cardboard and other paper recyclables away from the landfill, increasing capacity of the Free City recycling drop-off sites, improving data tracking on recycling, and implementing a community-wide recycling education campaign. Items 2, approving the distribution of funds representing interest earnings on short-term investments of idle funds during the month ended June 30th, 2016. Item 3, clerk's letter and mayor's approval of resolution and ordinances passed by City Council on July 27, 2016. Item 4, report from City Treasurer of City Cash on Hand on close of business day on July 27, 2016.
Okay, Roy.
Just for clarity, I'm going to move that we put item number 1 and take it and place it on file, which I think is where it belongs.
Discussion? Sorry, moved by Roy, seconded by Cindy. Discussion?
I would have a question for our city attorney, just, is that the same thing as to simply accept the message?
Yes,
What that
I would
would be.
think that would be the same thing.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Jane?
So, Jeff, sorry. So for clarity, by voting yes, we're saying that we are accepting the mayor's veto message by placing it on file.
Yeah, that's what you're, by placing it on file, you've obviously had to accept it before you place it on file. So I think you could interpret it that way, yes.
Okay?
Okay. Trent?
By accepting it doesn't mean that we're overriding it?
No, you're accepting the report, and that doesn't have the effect of an override vote on the veto.
To do that, you would have to move to override and have that seconded to be placed in consideration.
Right, and as you're aware, the charter requires the council to consider a veto message at the next regular meeting, which would be this meeting, and by receiving the report and taking action to accept the report, I think it's fair to argue that you've considered the veto.
Okay, thank you.
John?
I think, Mr. Kirkpatrick, I would use the word "we have received the message," not that we've.
Well, I think I'll accept his interpretation because it makes life easier for everybody.
Okay. Don't want to read too much into the charter.
Okay. Because this was listed under public hearing, I guess, and we are dealing with the consent agenda, is it appropriate at this time to ask for anyone who wishes to speak on this item or any of these items to come forward? Okay, seeing none, and if there's no further discussion on the council, let's move on to the next item.
Well, we have to call
Or call the vote on
yeah.
placing this on file.
Lamb? Yes. Raybold?
Yes.
Camp?
Yes.
Christensen?
Yes.
Eskridge?
Yes.
Fellers?
Yes.
Gaylor Baird?
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0. I'll proceed on the remaining parts of the consent agenda. Item 5, setting the hearing date of Monday, August 22nd, 2016 at 3 for the manager application of Gengi for Lam Kwai Fang LLC, doing business as Perfect Diner at 2855 North 27th Street. Item 6 is also setting the hearing date for Monday, August 22nd at 3 of the manager application of Sine Guibriones for Temene Corp., doing business as Mum's Liquor at 2202 O Street. Item 7 is setting the hearing date of Monday, August 22nd, 2016 at 3 on the application of Zipline Brewing, doing business as Zipline Brewing Company LLC for a Class AB liquor license at 5740 Highcott Drive. Item 8 is setting the hearing date of Monday, August 22nd, 2016 at 3 p.m. at the application of BJB Ventures LLC, doing business as Rabbit Hole Bakery for Class C liquor license at 800 Q Street. Item 9 has been referred to Planning Department. 10 has been placed on file at the City Clerk's Office. No items for miscellaneous referrals. That's the end of our consent agenda.
I move we accept the consent agenda.
Second?
Moved by Roy and seconded by Jane. Any further discussion? Would anyone else like to speak to any of these items? Okay, please call the roll.
Calling the vote on consent agenda items 2 through 11. Lamb?
Yes.
Raybold,
Yes.
Camp,
Yes.
Christensen,
Yes.
Eskridge.
Yes.
Fellers,
Yes.
Gaylor Baird.
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0. We're moving on to item 12, public hearing for liquor resolutions. Application of Down the Hatch Inc. for a special designated license to cover an outdoor area measuring approximately 30 feet by 80 feet at 5601 Northwest First Street on August 13, 2016, from noon to 8 p.m. There is a request to withdraw this item.
So moved.
Second?
Moved by Roy, seconded by Jane. Any
I
discussion?
think we do need to have public hearing though before.
We do,
Oh,
yeah. Would anyone
somebody's here.
like to speak to this item before we move on? Okay, seeing none,
We just need to, next time, call for roll. Yeah.
well, please take us to item 13, and we'll take the vote after both have been read.
Okay, item 13 is application of MSK DJ Inc. for a special designated license to cover an outdoor area measuring approximately 32 feet by 72 feet on the lawn south of the building at 575 Fallbrook Boulevard on August 20th, 2016, from 11 a.m. to midnight.
Is the applicant present? And if so, please come on forward.
Hi, how's it going, guys?
Hello, welcome. State your name and address. And
Dallas Schilling, here with MSKDJ Inc. is at 575 Fallbrook Boulevard.
okay, can you please tell us a little bit about your application?
Yeah, just to make it real simple, I know we got a lot to get to here. We have a lot of large groups coming in. I've got a cyclist event that's going on. There's just a lot of things that kind of fell on this date, and I talked to everybody and I said, hey, can I get this area out here for you? Cyclists are like, heck yeah, we can hang out on the grass and eat and have our drinks there. And I've got a grad party, so just a lot going on, and I wanted to extend my patio, pretty much is how simple it is.
Okay. Any questions from the council? All right, thank you very much.
Okay, thanks.
Would anyone else like to speak to this item? Sonny, why don't you call the next item or take us through the vote for the liquor resolutions?
Madam Chair, I'd move approval of item 13 and withdrawal of item 12, which,
That's already been moved and seconded, so we just vote.
okay, well, you want to vote on that, and then you want to add to it the friendly amendment that we can do it two separate.
So I'm calling the
Number
vote for
12.
item 12, correct?
Yes.
That's right.
Okay. Lamb,
Yes.
Raybold,
Yes.
Camp,
Yes.
Christensen,
Yes.
Eskridge.
Yes.
Fellers,
Yes.
Gaylor Baird.
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0.
And then, Madam Chair, I'd move acceptance of approval of item 13.
Second?
Moved by John and seconded by Jane. Discussion? All right. Please call the roll.
Lamb,
Yes.
Raybold,
Yes.
Camp,
Yes.
Christensen,
Yes.
Eskridge.
Yes.
Fellers,
Yes.
Gaylor Baird.
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0.
Thanks.
Public hearing resolutions, we have none. Public hearing ordinances, second reading, and related resolutions, no items. That ends our portion of the public hearing. Move on to ordinances, third reading. And related resolutions, item 14, amending section 12.08.270 of the Lincoln Municipal Code to expand the list of outdoor and indoor city-owned locations where alcoholic beverages can be served for specific activities and events.
And could you please let us know who moved this item? Or who introduced the item? And if that information is not available, maybe someone could just go ahead and do that. If
So moved?
okay. Can I get a second?
Second.
Moved by Jane and seconded by Trent. Any discussion?
We do have a motion to amend.
Okay.
Motion to amend number 1 deletes Tower Square from page 1, lines 2 and 18, and then on page 2 deletes those references as well.
Okay. Is there a second on the motion to amend?
Second?
Okay, so that's been moved by Carl and seconded by Jane. Discussion? No discussion? Okay, please call the roll on the motion to amend.
Lamb,
Yes.
Raybold,
Yes.
Camp,
Yes.
Christensen,
Yes.
Eskridge.
Yes.
Fellers,
Yes.
Gaylor Baird.
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0.
Okay, and now on the main motion, please. Any discussion, any further discussion on the main motion? Roy?
I think when I look at this and the purpose of this, and I think we're having alcohol at enough places already in our community, and this is not really necessary, in my opinion, to allow alcohol at fundraisers for that are sponsored by the city or nonprofits that are associated with the city. So, as nice as the idea is, I'm not going to vote for this.
Further discussion, comments from the council? Well, I would add that we do allow, this is adding to the number of locations where alcoholic beverages can be served for specific events benefiting city departments. And, you know, in this time of tight resources, when we are asking departments to look for creative ways to raise revenues, this is one way that the Parks Department is looking to continue to increase the number of private dollars that come its way. So there is a role to play, I think, for this particular amendment, and I would support it. John?
Okay, yeah, thank you,
Okay.
Russ. Well, I just want to add two things. One, I generally agree with what Mr. Christensen has said, and in the past, I've been very careful or selective on what we do in our public facilities, because I think it is true we don't want to promote the image of alcohol consumption. Secondly, we were told by the Director of Parks and Rec, Lynn Johnson, that in the past year, there was one activity that was sponsored by the Parks Foundation, and we do get an annual report on activities. And I will go ahead and support this because the primary reason was to add Old Pavilion and an indoor facility in case you had a rain event. But I will be, and I hope that my colleagues will join me in reviewing this next year, because if we suddenly see a proliferation of a lot of activities, I'll reconsider. I think, again, this is more for the rain date type thing, and that we keep this on a very limited basis.
All right, please call the roll, Sonia.
Lamb,
No.
Raybold,
Yes.
Camp,
Yes.
Christensen,
No.
Eskridge.
Yes.
Fellers,
Yes.
Gaylor Baird.
Yes.
Motion carried 5-2. Resolutions first reading are items 15 through 23. Ordinances first reading and related resolutions, items 24 through 28. We have one item on our pending list date certain, item 29, with an action delayed to September 12th of 2016. That is the end of our beginning portion of our council meeting today.
Would
So I move adjournment.
you?
Second.
Okay, moved by Roy and seconded by Jane. Vote, please call the roll.
Lamb,
Yes.
Raybold,
Yes.
Camp,
Yes.
Christensen,
Yes.
Eskridge.
Yes.
Fellers,
Yes.
Gaylor Baird.
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0.
Okay, this regular meeting of the City Council is now adjourned, and we will reconvene at 3 o'clock for a special public hearing on the budget, CIP, and 1 and 6 year streets and highway program.